Hi, welcome back to the channel. As you probably realise, I was pretty hacked off after the last video, pretty cheesed off with the blooming Elan, all the engine problems. It wasn't running right. It's still not running right. Anyway, I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll sort any of that out. I thought I'd give you a quick tour of the engine bay and tell you what I think I need to do, which is fundamentally go back to first principles and check a few things and make sure everything's working right. It seems to be running on intermittently on 3 cylinders, so there's still something wrong with the ignition side. Anyway, I don't want to do that today. Anyway, before I do that, there's a new project I need to show you. The Formula Ford 2000. This is a historic Formula Ford 2000. It's a Reynard SR79. I'm going to campaign this in the HSCC Classic Formula Ford series. Had it a few weeks now. It needs a few things doing to it to get it race ready, but not much. But that's not really for this video. I'll show you this another time. If people are interested, let me know. Drop me a comment if you want to know more about this and see how I get it ready for the race. And we'll take it from there. Yeah, I need to check the distributor cap and also all the rotor and make sure that's still okay. I've checked all this before, but it's, there's something going on there. I'm not quite sure what it is. The timing, I know I've got the timing marks in the right place. I know now. It's just a question of making sure this distributor is properly working. I also suspect that there's a fuel problem. Either there's not enough fuel pressure or not enough fuel flow. I've checked all this before. I've now got a gauge where I can measure the fuel flow pressure, so I think I'll do something like that, and obviously just check the setup of the carbs, the float levels are right, and all that sort of thing. So those are the sort of things I need to do, but it's not for this video. So what I have got for this video is something I did quite a while ago. The gear lever in here. To replace the gear lever. So what follows now is really the story of all of that. After I set all the timing, I took it out for a test run, and I was having trouble with changing gear. It was really stiff and wasn't really working too well. And I was about, I don't know, half a mile from home on the way back, and I went to change up and push the gear lever forward, and instead of going forward, it turned through 90 degrees and then went forward, and I couldn't engage a gear. Well, what had happened is the ball had broken up inside here. It's a rubber ball, and obviously the oil from the gearbox, it rotted out all of the anti-sizzle washer before, and I've replaced it with this. And you've probably seen that in my other video. I'll put a link above. And then the rubber ball completely disintegrated, and there's a bit of it, which I dug out from inside when I took all this off, and unfortunately quite a lot of it has gone down into the gearbox, which I've got to fish out. But what happened was the ball broke up, and then because of the spring it sort of raised it up and it disengaged from the forks inside the gearbox. I'll show you that. There's the cup, but the forks are there, and it obviously just jumped out of those. Anyway, I bought another gear lever, and I'll swap that over, but I will repair the old one in time, probably the winter job. There's the comparison between the old and the new gear lever, and it's actually got a different, they've used a different material for the ball in this new one. It looks like a nylon-y type material, whereas the old one, this one is just some sort of rubber, and it's all gone hard and brittle, and there's obviously broken up. There's also, I don't know if you can see that, but there's another cup there which sits under there on the ball, which sits over as another shield over here, as well as the white one here. So I think when I remake that, I'll have to make something up to go over there, and then I'll probably make either a nylon or an aluminium ball to run inside there. But also this is slightly different. It's chromed obviously, and this one's not chromed. It's also, this has got a sort of flare on there, and it's just straight. It's a shame because I'd really like to use the original one with the chrome. Anyway, that can be a winter project, sorting this out. Well, you can see, I think that some of this, if I put a torch down there, it's not very focused. You can see there's quite a lot of debris down inside the top of the gearbox there, so I need to get that out. I'm going to use the endoscope, see if I can see anything with that. Hopefully you will see what I'm doing there. And there are some bits in the various corners of the gearbox there, so I think definitely I'm going to take that out, take this cover off. Getting the top off this box isn't going to be easy, so I think I'm going to have to probably cut the fiberglass here. I might just cut some holes over the bolts. So I've put a bit of metal in there, and I've measured in to the bolt head in here like that, and marked the positions where I think the heads of the bolts are. So if I drill a couple of largest holes over there, it's big enough to get a socket through, and then hopefully I can get the that top cover off, and I'm hoping it's going to come out through here. It should do. I might have to take these bits out. I'm not quite sure what they're there for, sort of reinforcement or something, but they don't go all the way back. Anyway, so that's the next job. That's metal in there. Done. Right, there we are, and look, there's the two heads of the nuts, the bolts under there, just in the right place. Fantastic. Well, there's the holes cut out. You can see the bolts, which is good, and I've also cut out the those two bits of metal here, which are bits. This is the size of the chassis here, I think. Anyway, that'll make it easier when I have to screw the gear lever back in, which is never very easy. So now to get that cover off. Well, that's the cover off. It came off quite easily. I had to prise it off with a jack, which I put in there, but you can see all the lumps of grodget and yuck and stuff in there, so it's going to have to clear out. I'm a bit concerned that there's a big hole there, the stuff has gone down there, so I'm going to put the bore scope down there so I can see anything, but I think it reinforces the decision to this phone would focus, to reinforce the decision to actually drain all the oil and see if anything comes out the bottom. I really don't want to be taking the gearbox out, but I might have to if I'm concerned there's too many big lumps in there. Right, just picking the bits out one by one. There's all sorts of stuff in here, some big bits and some little bits. Quite hard to get hold of. Yeah, big lump of rubber. So I've got those bits out so far. Well, that's all the bits I can get out with the tweezers. You can see this torch makes it a bit clearer. Still a load of sort of crumbs in there, which in oil, so I just need to wipe all that out now, which is not going to be easy, but I'll get that out. And that's what I've got out so far. Quite a lot of stuff. Right, well, I've had real trouble getting the this new gear lever in. It cross-threaded under here when that was in there, so I took the top off and I put it in, cleaned up the threads and put it in. So I'm going to give this a go and see now whether I can get it in like this. I'm hoping it will slide in. Yeah, that's good. There we go. I think that's engaged all right. Yep. Let's put some bolts in. I'll just put 2 in to start with and make sure it's all working before I that one's not going in. Oh, that feels better. Yep, that one's picked up. This one's not quite aligned. That looks better. I'll just put these 2 in and then see if it all works. I'll show it works. I don't want to drop this bolt and washer down the side of the gearbox. There we go. Let's give it a little tweak. There we go. Well, it's not very good. Let's put a foot on the clutch. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I think that's working. Yeah, it's all working. Right. Let's put it all back together again now. Well, that's all the bolts in and done up tight. I just need to bend up the tab washers to stop the thing undoing, and then need to give it all a go. Well, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Gear lever, we hope now, and gearbox will work. Haven't been able to test it because the engine won't run, as you know. If you want to see more about the Reynard and the historic or classic Formula Ford 2000, drop me a comment and I'll catch you next time.